so weird because it always feels so formal. Welcome to nighttime with Shag. Because it is nighttime. It's like 12 something in the morning, and the Beyonce concert just ended. So I had trouble getting home from my job because people were prancing. They do be prancing. This whole plant, I think she is really not happy that I repotted her. I thought she would be happy, but she is not. She's not doing what I think she should do, but she's doing what she needs to do to get herself together. So I'm gonna let her be. But yeah, I'm gonna let her be. But she, every time I look, I'm like, oh baby. But we're gonna see how she progresses as we continue. Um, okay, so so this thing came up with. Remember, I the last time I talked, I said I want to talk about the trans issue because all these people have all this stuff about trans. Oh my God, the trans and the trans community is such a small, marginalized community that it really is not. The trans community makes a huge difference and impact in terms of who they are in the world. For me, um, and for a lot of other people. But I'm just saying in terms of like the grand scale of things, if you're got a problem with trans people, it's so minute. It's stupid, and so they're trying to make everyone focus on this thing with trans people, and they don't have any statistics to back up anything they're saying. So now they're banning trans people serving in the military. But let me just say this because it's been on my mind for like a while, and I'm guilty of this as well. So I'm calling myself out in the beginning, not today, not now, but in the beginning. So whenever people say trans, usually the uneducated folks are focused on men who have not transitioned in their eyes well. Let me say it like that. Because you can still see that they were biologically a man and now they're a woman, or they equate people who are cross dressers with trans, and cross dressing is something completely different than being trans. Um, there are people who live their lives as women, and so the ones that you can clock, which is what we say in our community, if you can clock it. If you can't clock it, that's when you like really are like, oh shit, you can't even clock that. Which I'm going to talk about that. But when they're focused on it, it's the people that people think they can clock, because there are, just in general, people, masculine looking women who are biologically women who are masculine looking. That doesn't make them trans. That's just a masculine looking woman. And then there are trans women that still look masculine. That's true. And that happens. And then there are those that you can't clock. But we're always so focused in the trans community about men who are wanting to pass as women. It's always this thing about the men try. And I'm not saying I want to pass. That's what people think. You say you're a woman, I'm like, cool. It really doesn't affect my life. And like, I'm like, okay, that's what rings true for you, then I'm like, fine. But I just like other folks like, they're trying to be, and all this stuff, right? And then the ones that you never talk about are the women who have transitioned to men. And it's kind of like those, what's those old alien movies like They Live or They're Among Us? Like you don't know who they are because there are men that you have no idea have like transitioned. They were biologically born as women and they are men. They are friends of yours, people you talk to, people you're close with. They compete in sports, and you don't know. You don't know unless they either tell you or they show you. Um, but I'm only saying that because it's like there's this whole other community that we've seen to like just dismiss as like unimportant, because we want to focus on the things that people are fearful about, because no one's really fearful about that part, because you, like I said, you don't really know. They mailed in nicely and it's like no big deal. And I'm sitting there going like, so why? just I think for me, I have been in this space where I feel like we all have things that we do intimately, and there may be things that we're interested in that we do that are not really pleasing, I should say, maybe for other people. I don't know, or it may not be of interest, but like, what does it matter? You're not like I often like if you're not on the edge of the bed butt naked with the person, then why are you worried about with like that's the only reason that I think you should be worried. If you're going to get naked and get busy, then like yo, like there's some things that I need to know. Some people like surprises. Some people love those crackerjack, like let's open it up and see what happens. And that's cool. I want to know what's in the box. That's just me, just so I can prepare myself. I mean, I'm bi, but and I have no problems with, there's certain things that I'm like, oh, I've paused. I was like, I there's a couple of things I'd be like, okay, but I want to know because in my mind I'm prepared for this, and if it's not that, I'd be like, oh shit. So I just find that interesting. And I have this cousin. Oh my god, I have this cousin, and then there's this other guy, Ian. I think his name is Ian Burrows. I don't know. And please don't go after him because I'm not trying to incite anything. But oh my god, is this? He's this straight black dude that is obsessed. When I say obsessed, like every other post that he makes is about this derogatory thing with trans. And when he's talking about trans, he's only talking about uh, uh, MTF, men, male to female, like transitioning from male to female. That's all he's talking about. He's not talking about FTM, female to male. He's talking about MTFs all the time. But he uses the term trans to encompass all trans folks, but he's only talking about one group of trans. And then anytime that you bring in an argument about other people that are actually part of the trans community, because intersex is part of the trans community, whether he knows it or not, they are. And then he goes, oh, well, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about, and then he said, I'm not talking about hermaphrodites, which I haven't heard that word in I don't know how long. So I was like, you're ignorant. You're ignorant in this subject. You're ignorant. And he doesn't want to know. Like he just has this obsession. And it's like, that's the thing where people have this obsession and this like, oh yeah, oh yeah. But like, if you look at your life, like if you look at the things going on with your life, so there are people dealing with depression. There are people dealing with addiction. There are people dealing with divorce. There are people dealing with infidelities and breaking of agreements and breaking of promises. And I have never seen someone, unless it's part of the relationship, I've never seen in a straight relationship somebody says, and it's because that guy is trans, and that's why me and my husband Harold are getting a divorce. I'm addicted to crack because that guy. Well, unless that guy or girl got him hooked on it, because that could happen. Okay, this is so wrong. This did not come out of my mouth. This did not come out of my mouth. But I'm not gonna say it. You know what? I'm not gonna say it. I'm not. I want to say it so bad, but I'm not. I'm gonna put it in a show or something so that way, because I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm just not gonna say it. But my friend said something about the trans community, the ones that are on drugs, because he's in recovery. He was like, "Oh, those ones, the ones on drugs." What do you call them? The druggie. He called them the druggie something. I'm not going to say the word, but he was just like, "Oh, they're dangerous." And I was just like, I just had this visual in my mind. So I mean, unless that's happening, but I mean, other than that, like these people don't even know that they know people who are trans, and they're just like, "Oh, they're in our bathrooms," and I've never seen any trans people who are trying to use the bathroom. They're not trying to see your shit, like. No, where is this obsession where people think that if you are different, that all of a sudden you want everybody? I mean, for me, being LGBTQ, being bi, like for me, now I know other people are disrespectful. I know that that's true. That's true in all communities. But in terms of like, if you say you're straight, then you're straight. That's what I want to talk about. Okay, later I want to talk about when people say oh, they're straight. And this is for you ladies, if you're watching, if the ladies especially, because there's some things you need to know and ask, and I probably shouldn't tell you, but I'm gonna. But like, cause yeah, we're gonna talk about because that's how my mind works. Okay, it just goes boop, 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 all over the place. So we are gonna talk about that. But back to my trans folks, I just think that the obsession about what's between people's legs is just absurd. It's just like you're not even with them. And then here's the real joke: like there are some people who really have this huge like love and turn on, but they don't want people to know because people are gonna think this and that. It's just like, oh my god, it's just too much. It is too much. I think that anybody who is bold enough to say, listen, I know I was born such and such, but in my spirit, I feel like this is what's true for me. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, look, there's people out there that want bigger breasts, they want bigger booties, they want bigger appendages. Some men, and they go and do the work and get that all done, and no one is out there telling them like you should keep your breasts the way they are. God made you that way. You should. Nobody's protesting. Like doing a protest in their front of their house. Nobody's throwing rocks at them. Nobody's making a fuss. So if these people, it's their body. It's their body. They get to. So if they're like, this is what's true for me, and they're happy. That's the thing. I'm really for people being happy. I listen, man. I pray for God to give me that strength that it takes when trans people really like get the whole fullness of who they are. I wish I could do that. I still worry about what people think at times. I do. And I wish I could be like that and say, I don't care. This is who I am and this is what I'm going to do. And I'm not trans. I don't mean it in that way. I just mean just in my own expression. Um, but I think that the trans community is one of the most powerful and beautiful groups in the world because I think that they have a connection to God in sense of male and because God is neither male nor female. God is all. So they have that access to both sides of the expression of God, in my opinion. In my opinion, and I think they're very spiritual creatures. And I think what we do to them internally is horrible. That disconnects them from spirit and disconnects them from community. And they work extra hard to really form family and community and establish that. And they're really strong in that. You can learn a lot from trans folks because they know how to rock their community. And it's sad that we don't want to pull from that and learn from that. We want to, demonize that. It's not your job. It's not. If you believe God is all powerful, if you really believe that, then let God do God's work. If that is something that's going to be something in the end, God will let them know if that's true for them. I don't think it's true, and I don't think God is worried about somebody putting on heels in a dress. That's all made up. I mean, God didn't go, you heels. Eve didn't even have heels in a dress. I mean, I don't think it's made up. People made up. That's what it means to be a man. That's what it means to be a woman. We made it up. And then we made agreements about what that was. It was a long time ago when men were wearing wigs. So, I mean, like wigs and powder and shit. Like, who cares? Who cares? You're happy and you're not hurting anyone. You're not like harming anyone. You're not putting a noose around somebody's neck. You're not cutting somebody up because of who they are, what they look like, or what race they are. You are putting on heels, dress, makeup, glitter, whatever it is, and going out in the world and celebrating. And you are happy. And I'm for it. And it's sad that other people have so much like time on their hands to focus on what's between your legs. How about you focus on your life? How about we focus on our life? How about we trying to make the world a better place? Look, and some of y'all that's all upset and mad about the drag queens, the male to female drag queens. Some of them can teach you a thing or two. You might want to go with them and get a makeover. You might want to go and get them, make sure that your friend and have them help you with your wardrobe. You might really want to go get someone who knows who created their whole world and their whole being and just created that from scratch, and said, this is who I am, and they do it better than you do, and you were born a female. So take some notes and lessons because some of them got it down pat, baby, and they are wearing y'all out. Maybe that's why you upset, some of y'all. And the other ones that are upset, maybe you find it a little attractive, and you don't like that you find it a little attractive because it makes you question your own thing. It's just stupid. Anyway, I just had to say that. And shout out to my FTMs, and let me just tell you, I do love my FTMs, and I love them. I'm by, and that is just the best of both worlds. I mean, not every single FTM. Don't get me wrong. You know, there's of course chemistry and personality and all of that, but oh baby, that is just like, whoo. And maybe I'll share some experiences later, but not tonight. And shout out to that person if he ever watches. All right, that's all I had to say for tonight. I love y'all. Subscribe. Uh, I always forget to say subscribe. If you know, please subscribe. Please like. Please hit the like button. Share your experiences in the comment, but and even the comments, you know, I respond, but like share whatever you feel. I mean, you know, I really, I think that dialoguing with the intention of understanding, with the intention of growing as a community, I think it helps. I mean, if you want to bash, I mean, that's just sad. Don't do that. Like, just don't do that here. Please watch you be somebody that does that. All right. You guys have a good night, and yeah, peace and love to everybody. Really. Shout out to all my queens and kings in the trans community that are out there making that powerful difference by being yourself. I love all y'all. I admire all y'all. Bold, beautiful creatures. Love y'all. Thank you for making my life better. Peace, y'all.